What's up everyone, in this video I'll be going over how to use ziplines, specifically the ones in World's Edge that have become increasingly popular lately. This guide is for the controller players, but if you're on mouse and key you could still learn a thing or two, but just know there are probably some more helpful guides out there on how to do these things and more on mouse and key. I will show you two specific techniques that I find very useful on the ziplines, and then I will also cover how to win more fights in these zipline buildings overall, because there's a lot more to learn than just how to use the ziplines correctly. Let's get into the video. Now you've all probably seen your favorite streamer or YouTuber use these ziplines in some crazy ways and wonder how they're doing that. First, it will take practice and familiarity with the ziplines, and then you want to know when to use it. Obviously, if someone is holding the zipline, for example, you don't just want to ride straight up it because you will get one clipped and you won't really be able to shoot them back. Quickly interacting with the zipline is key to outplaying your opponents, but let's talk about how to do that. Now, using the double zip jump method was exactly how I outplayed that Valkyrie that you just saw, and now I'm going to show you not only how to do that, but also how to quickly interact with the zip. In order to quickly interact with the zip, to go to the next floor, tap X and then A to jump off, and then turn 180 to interact again. You'll need to do this in a rapid motion, and you'll do this to reach whichever floor you want. Make sure to look up a little bit so you don't get caught on the wall in between each floor and have to climb up. If you look up, it will just propel you onto the floor. If you kind of look straight, it'll try to make you climb up to the floor. Now, it's fine if you have to climb up, but just keep in mind if someone's holding that floor, they could get some free shots on you just for a second while you're climbing up. This method will make minimal sound on the zip line, so it can surprise your opponents. Now, in order to do the double jump, you have to press X and then double tap A rapidly to get that extra boost. I like doing this to peek the floor and potentially get some shots on my opponents who are holding that floor, and I don't really want to commit to being on that floor. You know, let's say I'm in a 1v3, I don't necessarily know if all three are on that floor. So if I rapidly interact with the zip, take it, get onto the floor, I just get team shot. So I can double jump, peek the floor, see how many are on there, maybe get a shot or two off on them, drop down, reload, etc. This is a very advanced move and it is difficult to pull off consistently, but practice it and you will definitely see how useful it can be. I gotta say, the tough part about doing all of this on controller is X is our only interact button. So it will reload your gun a lot of the times when you're just trying to interact with the zip, and that time can get you killed. So this is why I prefer the Mastiff in these fights if I can get it, because instead of reloading the whole clip, it will just reload one shell at a time, therefore making this whole thing a way easier time for controller players. Now, if you aren't able to find a Mastiff and you are stuck using like a Peacekeeper, an EVA 8, or any other gun really, and you are quickly interacting, having to reload, just try to make sure that you're able to buy a second or two to reload your gun before you take a fight on the following floor that you're quickly interacting with. If that makes sense, you know, just make sure that you just don't put yourself in vulnerable spots when you're trying to reload your gun, obviously. It's a lot easier said than done. It's unfortunate controller really only has one button to do like 20 things, but hey, it's been 9 seasons, so nothing's probably going to change. One of the things that I want you to know is always control high ground on these zipline buildings. Only drop if somebody's very low, otherwise wait for them to come to you. You hold all the cards having high ground. On buildings like here, you're able to reposition quickly and you can take a different floor, but not necessarily drop all the way to the bottom. And that's really helpful because then you can come back and make sure that the opponent doesn't get rezzed. This is a very advanced method, and if you know how to drop from each floor without using the zip lines, you'll be way better off fighting in these buildings. It's all about being there with your team or having the isolation and separation you need in order to take out these opponents. Another method of fighting on these buildings is making sure that your team doesn't go all in the same direction. So take the height from different areas, different angles. It's really important. If you all ride up the zipline one way, you're just gonna die from a good player. So there's like 3 or 4 different ways you can get to this roof, and you gotta make use of that. You gotta come from different angles so that your opponents don't know where you all are. And this will really throw them off. The other way to interact with the zipline is by smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm, because if I don't hit 1,000 likes on this video, then I've definitely failed in life. So hit that like button for me. Another way to take high ground on this specific building is you can climb the sides of it on the beams. I don't have a clip of it, but if you guys know what I mean, you're able to scale the side of the building and you can actually make it from the first floor all the way up to the top floor, but it is pretty difficult to climb consistently. So practice that as well. Now I'm going to get into a couple other tips and tricks for you for fragment fighting. Now right here I had this Watson weak, and what I'm going to do is basically chase her. And right here, I can see her through the windowsill. So instead of climbing up, she might beam me. I wall bounce up this. Now, this is a handy wall bounce. There's a few different spots on this map that replicate this exact spot. So you can learn how to wall bounce up these elevator shafts and just kind of surprise your opponents. Now, right here is another example of how to scale the side of this building. Instead of always taking the same route, you should practice trying taking multiple different routes. Also, for you Wraith players, if you're ever low, make sure you crank a phase before you ride the zip. You may not be able to see it, but someone could just beam you from riding the zip. All right, if you heal on this third floor, this is like the meta for this building. This third floor balcony gives you so much access to repositioning quickly, using the door to take the balcony, using the door to go inside the third floor, climbing up on the vent, taking the fourth floor. There's so many different angles, but right here I want to show you something critical. Now there's 2 on this door, so I don't really like this. I crank a phase and I'm able to climb these AC units to get back to the third floor. Then I'm gonna heal once again on this door. I hear somebody on the zip line. I'm gonna peek that. They're not gonna know I'm there. I close the door, hop back up. I'm onto the 4th floor. See how rapidly I'm repositioning here? That is critical to fighting multiple people when you're in a disadvantaged situation. Now, if anybody watching this missed out on my controller movement guide from season 8, I will link that in the info card right now, and you guys can check that out. I cover a ton of other helpful movement tips and tricks that may be beneficial to you. Now right here, I hit that guy for 60 and I'm able to control this high ground from just watching this zip line right here. So I hit him for 18 again here, and then I'm gonna wait for a second. I see that my teammate is about to drop, so I can kind of bait him. Then I will super jump on the zip line, get an angle, and knock him. Using those vertical zips, you can super jump in other places as well. This is how you fight sweaty wraiths who think they're fade on the zip lines. You basically bait your teammate into riding the zip line up straight and then develop angles and make sure that this person never gets a chance to hold me out. Everybody's gonna constantly move when they're doing this, and you gotta know when to chase and where to chase. If you just blindly chase, this person will probably outplay you. But for me, I knew I had her lower than me, and there was really no chance she was gonna win this. So it was just a matter of finding her and getting an angle on her. But here is something that you may not have known. Meleeing while people are on zip lines is actually really strong. It knocks them off, they can't really do much, and it'll do more damage than your EVA 8 for 14 when you've hit them a million times already. So meleeing people off zip lines is actually pretty OP. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to slap a like and subscribe if you are new. I'm gonna let the rest of the video play out where I had some decent clips from fighting in the zipline building. I hope you guys will watch till the end, and thanks so much for watching this video. Peace.